Hello everybody. Just wanted to do a wee video. Was bored sitting in the house there, so I'm going to come out and do a wee bit of weeding. In that wee patch there, we got a whole bag of green material for compost. So weeds are great. This bit's been weeded here, and I've got some broad beans here. Sorry about the noise there. Right next to the road. Some broad beans here and here. This wee thing here, which I don't know what it is. I'll need to research that. Here we've got an onion and some basil, and I've still to weed this strip here. So that's stuff that's been seeded late last year, and it's starting to grow, let's say, in accord this year. I think because it's had the weeds growing round about, it's actually sheltered it and protected it a wee bit. If that had been bare soil, I don't think any of that would have grown. So the weeds are, I think, providing a function. And if you look here as well, soil, it's lovely and soft, broken up. I've not dug that, that's the weeds have broken that up, then pulling the weeds out then loosens the soil. So I think they're an important part, and I'll definitely be letting them do their job. So what I'll do is I'll get on with reading, and I'll give you a wee update and let you see anything else I find when I'm finished. Cheers. Right, okay, so I've weeded about half the stretch here. I can see there I've got a mint plant growing. I know it's a ferocious weed and I might need to pull it out, but I'll leave it in there for now. It's filling a space. Every space it's filled, less a space for weeds. The wee daisies, I've been going to be leaving them in because they'll fill in spaces lovely too. I might even leave some of the buttercups. So I've uncovered some beans, a couple of onions, some basil, hot poker, it's a flower, this unidentified wee number here, and the rosemary. But I've also got growing this. And I might be wrong, but I think that's some birch trees, so I'll let them grow up there, then I'll transplant them into a container. And there's a wee wooded area I want to plant up with some birch across the field eventually, so it's somewhere handy that I can go tap them. So I'll finish up reading, and then I'll show you whatever else I find in amongst there. Right, cheers. Right, so I've made a wee bit of progress here, more or less done. Just want to do this wee corner here. What I realised is there's no weeds in this patch here, and there was weeds all the way up there. Now I've done that by hand, not even needed a trowel or anything, you know. And I've got to here where there's no weeds, just the buttercups, and the roots have only touched an inch of the surface, so they've not broke the soil up at all, man. It's impossible to use just a hand here, so I'm going to get in with a fork and get a wee smash up. But it was just to illustrate the fact that it shows that the weeds are actually doing a job and serving a purpose, because as soon as I got to an area without weeds, it's impossible to weed by hand when you need tools, and the soil is compact and hard. So I'm just going to set about it with a fork, break it up and clear it away. I'll get back to you in a couple of minutes and let you know what else I've got planned. Okay, cheers. Right, so that's me finished weeding here. You can see that there. What I've done, I've took the fork and I've just gave this section here just a wee rough up. Don't really believe in turning the soil, but I'm trying to do it without. But I think it needed it really. It was still just as hard as it's ever been. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a wee quick run for the top here to the bottom. Just I'm breaking the soil up, no turning it, just getting the fork in, getting a wee lift. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. There's my wee fork. A bigger one would be better. I've got a slightly wider one, but can't be annoyed, got to get it. So, whack the fork in, get a wee stand down, just lift it up, just so the soil's like that. Next bit, lifted up, and that's it. Nothing more, no turning it, just loosening it. Right, shake it about, you loosen, and there you go. Do that with one hand. And that's two purposes: to get air into the soil and to loosen the soil so that your roots can move a bit freely. If they can do that, they'll go nice and big, grow nice and strong. That's me finished for the day, so I'll get back to you tomorrow and show you what else I've got planned. Right, cheerio. Good afternoon guys, this is my follow-up video for yesterday where I weeded this patch of ground here. You might have noticed I said I didn't believe in turning the soil. That's because when it gets exposed to the air, the bacteria and the nutrients and stuff believe that there's been maybe plants ripped to it, there's been damage. So they overproduce nutrients to try to stimulate growth in the bare ground, therefore using it up. So I much prefer just to aerate the soil a little, break it up a little, but don't turn it. So I'm going to improve the soil structure here by adding some good compost and some manure. So this is a 1/3 manure, 2/3 compost mix, and I'm going to get it thrown down on here. Once the compost is down on the ground, I'll be covering it with some hay, like you see here. Now what that does, it does a few things. It keeps the soil surface moist, stops the evaporation of nutrients, it allows things that are already established in the ground to grow, but it stops things like seeds for weeds getting a hold in here, so a bit less weeding. The odd one will pop through, but like I says, I'm trying to keep a space for everything in the garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw this soil and stuff just on here, and I'm going to rake it out. It's as simple as that, and I'll get back to you once I've done that. Okay, thanks. Hello folks, that's me back. I've put my material down pretty much the whole length here, maybe a depth of 2 to 3 inches or thereabouts. Covered the entire area. I've not been very deliberate, just quickly, easily, roughly. Don't worry about mixing it because the microbes and the bugs and stuff will mix it all perfectly for you anyway. So the next thing I'm going to do now is cover it in. Next thing I'm going to do now is cover it in straw like the other piece here. This has been a cost of about £6-7 for 120 litres of compost and about £3 odds for 40 litres of manure, and it's worked out fine. So that's under £10 has covered that, and that'll improve my soil, I'd imagine, quite dramatically. There's the straw over there. It's like £3 each at the pound shop, so it's like £6 and £8. It's under £15, and you've improved the microbiology for your soil and the structure. So goodbye. So there we go, people, finished article. I mean, this straw is great, it's cheap, and what you're doing is you're getting loads of biological material into your soil. I mean, this will break down by near the end of the winter. Can be reapplied, but what I plan to do is take the soil from my container garden right at the top of this, and then another layer of straw, but that's at the end of the winter, mulching time, you know. So, aye, that's me done at the front. I'm going to go round the back garden, see if there's anything I can find to occupy myself. So I'll be back with these in just a minute. Okay folks, that's everything done. One thing I forgot to tell you is you need to really give this a good watering in for multiple reasons. First of all, obviously, to wet the soil underneath, to wet the straw itself, and this will aid condensation kind of between the soil surface and the hay itself. Like I say, it stops weeds from invading as well. It lets anything that's established underneath grow out, but it stops weeds from dropping in, you know. Once it's been wetted down, there'll be probably be exposed pieces of soil, something like that. What you need to do is go back and just cover them up. Any places that are uncovered, guaranteed that's where your weeds are going to end up appearing. So that's me done here for the day. I've not got a great deal of extra growth happening yet, so I was going to show you the container garden and that, but it's much like the last time. So maybe later on in the week, hopefully we'll see a wee bit of flourish a wee bit, and we can show you some new growth. Okay, well, thanks for tuning in, watching the videos, very much appreciated, thanks.